Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle. Do you like my earrings? Thanks so much for joining me. Today we're going to talk about thrift etiquette as a plus size and non-plus size person who shops in the plus size section at thrift stores. One of you guys sent me a direct message about this on Instagram, and I wasn't aware there was any like threads on Twitter about it or that anybody was talking about it, and I thought it was just me quietly fuming in the background. But there's a huge trend right now of creators on YouTube creating YouTube tutorials about sizing things down. So they go to the thrift store, they buy something that is on purpose very large, whether it be like mom jeans or something like that, and then they cut it down by a huge number of sizes to fit them. Here's the thing. I think this is wrong. Honestly, wrong. First off, plus size sections in thrift stores are so poorly stocked. First off, plus size people struggle hugely to find clothes in the first place, and then when they have them, they don't give them up until they're completely worn out because they don't have a lot of options to start off with. So what you get in the thrift store is all the worst of the worst. But then if you do like thrifting, or you have to thrift, because let's not forget that most of the people who buy from thrift stores are not just like people trying to be cool and eco-friendly. No, these are people who really can't afford any other way to shop, and so they are buying secondhand because they have to. Imagine being a fat person who's very limited on options, then going to the thrift store and having all of those options bought by people who are a size 6 or a size 4. Only for them to wear it because it's oversized or because that's the style. Here's the thing. You can still get something that is oversized in a more highly stocked size range. So if you are a size 4, you can get a size 8. It's still oversized. Or you can buy a men's top, which has a lot of selection in it too, because all those stupid promotional like t-shirts that are given out are all unisex, so they end up in the men's. So here's the thing. When you purchase something from the plus size section and you're not plus size, and then you size down that item, that's not upcycling, okay? Upcycling is when you're taking it and turning it into a completely new thing. So when I buy something like the leather skirts that I buy, first off, a lot of people don't like wearing leather anymore, so I don't feel bad about buying those. And a lot of it is damaged as well. Leather gets ripped very easily. I can cut it up and turn it into 20 new things. It lives a longer life. These people what they're doing is buying something that is too big for them and then making it fit them. All they're doing is wasting all that extra fabric that they've now cut out in the name of being eco-friendly to size down something. Doesn't really seem right. Now, if you are upcycling something and say you're buying a very large dress that you're now going to cut up and turn into a different dress, like Couleurpa does all the time, that's fine. Perfectly fine. It didn't start out looking like that and you've just made it smaller. What you've done is turn it into fabric and then are using it. However, where it becomes a problem is that this is now a trend and everybody is buying all of these plus size items to be oversized when plus size people need those thriftable items. Like, I can't go into a plus size, I can't go into a thrift store, there isn't a plus size thrift store around me, and buy anything because no one ever donates a size 5X. It just doesn't show up. I don't know if it does happen, what they do with it, because there's never any of those on the rack. But if I want to buy one of those items, say as a size 24, which I do see commonly in the store. That's a plus size 24, not a waist 24. A size 24. Now, say it's a cute denim skirt, right? Or it could be cute, but with some alterations. But it's a size 22 that's buying it. They're going to tailor it to themselves, make it shorter, make it a little more fashionable. Perfectly fine, okay? What is not fine is when you buy a size 24 skirt and then you size it down to a size 8. You now have all of that fabric left over and you've not done anything with it. It is a waste because you're just throwing all of that fabric out. Whereas someone who is larger, who maybe would have altered it, maybe hemmed it a little, maybe, changed the shape a little bit, that's perfectly fine because it's gonna fit you and you're not cutting out all of this fabric and wasting it and sending that part to landfill. And the people, it's not like I can go and buy a size 6 pair of jeans and then size them up. That doesn't really work like that. There's so much more that goes into sizing things up. You can't just keep adding fabric and suddenly it's bigger. I've tried and it does not work right, okay? So you can't do it in reverse, and it just feels like, it almost feels like fat people are being stolen from in the name of style, when fat people need those clothes because there is not a lot of options, and sometimes your only option is to go thrifting. It's really disappointing when you see people encouraging this because, it is thin privilege showing through. When you don't realize that you're taking away options from someone else by doing this cool inventive thing that you're doing, which admittedly it is really cool that you can size down a pair of jeans and make them look awesome. That's really cool. What's not cool is when you don't realize that you're now blocking someone else from having options just because you've taken all of the jeans in their size or all of the skirts in their size so that you can size them down for yourself. That is really what thin privilege is about. Thin privilege is not realizing or purposely ignoring the fact that someone bigger is being put out by the fact that you are getting ahead. That's really what it is. And when people are promoting this behavior of buying excessively oversized items just for the style or just so you can size it down a lot and not thinking about the consequences of that already limited section, it's very frustrating. I go to Value Village on a, twice monthly basis probably. And I always start in the plus size section looking for leather skirts because obviously those are going to be like the most amount of fabric, things like that. Still totally okay with buying a plus size leather skirt and upcycling it because a lot of people don't like to wear leather anymore. So that's going to sit on the rack for a long time, more than likely. So I start in that section just because of the way my store is laid out. That's the way it works. So I start there. And let's say size 24 to size 12 is maybe 2 4-foot long racks, okay? For all of the plus size section. Then from size 12 to size 0, I guess, is the last size. Basically from there to the rest of the sizes is 1.5 more rows of clothing. That is a lot of stuff. There is an excessive amount of clothing available in your size. If you're a size 12, you may be lucky and you can size up, or you may find some like different sized items that are not marked as a size 12 but fit you. But geez, like when you have so little options, it is so unbelievably frustrating to see someone taking that item that you would have worn as is because it was still cool or you needed it, like you needed dress pants for work, but you can't buy it because someone else has taken it and then turned it into a smaller pair of pants. You know, that just seems wasteful. I'm sure I will get tons of angry feedback on this, but I don't care. When you haven't experienced what it's like to have to shop in a thrift store or to only have very, very limited options for sizes, if you've never experienced that before, you will not understand. And if you fight me on that, I will just say your thin privilege is showing. Go away. Because that's exactly what it is. And you really can't change my mind on it. When you don't take into consideration the fact that someone else is losing out because you want to wear a shirt that is 5 sizes too big just for the style of it, then that is thin privilege. That just sums it up all right there. Okay, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you sticking around. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments down below. I'm sure there will be lots of angry ones. That's totally fine. That's why the block feature is here. If you liked this and you want to see more from me, including behind the scenes content, a podcast, some exclusive videos, things on how to create a YouTube channel, turning your hobby into a business, things like that, then I encourage you to join my Patreon because that's where we're hanging out a lot. There's also extended versions of the Maketober videos that I've been creating, or this will go up before them. There will be extended versions of the Maketober content that is coming out, so there will be full instructions on how I made everything available on Sundays, and as well as other posts, and you get to direct message me, which is pretty awesome. So, if you've considered joining my Patreon, I highly encourage you to join. We need to make it more of a party over there where we can hang out and just have lots of encouraging fun. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you hanging around to the very end, and I will see you soon. Bye!